Read what an Ekiti monarch told Sunday Igboho to do after surviving gunshots from bandits. An Ekiti monarch, Elewu of Ewu Ekiti Oba Adeniro Ajayi, who had a close encounter with death, had shared his horrific encounter with Punch, as well as revealing the people he thinks are behind the attack. He also talked about Chief Sunday Igboho. According to the traditional ruler, the terrible encounter happened on the 9th of April 2021 when he drove into bandits who positioned themselves by the roadside. He said the bandits didn't wear masks but covered themselves with leaves, so it was difficult to see them. On sighting his car, he said the bandits had started shooting. He revealed that there were over 12 bullets recovered. He said another bullet hit his stomach on the right side and came out from the other side. He said it was the Almighty God that saved his life. He said the bandits collected 57,000 naira and 3 phones from him before they fled. He said one of the bandits told him, "I want to kill you." He replied, "What will you kill an old man like me for? You said you want my money and I have given you money." The bandit said, "Okay, you can go." With blood gushing out from his body, he struggled as he drove back to the palace. From the palace, he was taken to the Federal Teaching Hospital, Ido Ekiti, but unfortunately, the doctors were on strike. While at Ido Ekiti, he said his people managed to stop the bleeding through African science, aka traditional medicine, and blood stopped gushing out. From there, he was rushed down to Afe Babalola Multi-Systems Hospital in Ado Ekiti. The monarch also said that those who attacked him were Fulani people because he saw their faces. He saw the bandits held a type of cutlass he had never seen in his life. He said the people in the southwest or south don't use that type of cutlass. He said the cutlass is the type used in Mali and Senegal. He also revealed that the bandits were 6 in number and they were all armed with AK-47 rifles and cutlasses. He said there was one with a long gun. With his narrow escape from death, the Ekiti monarch called on Chief Sunday Igboho to come and teach him and other Yoruba monarchs in the area the fortification and defense of the Yoruba people. He said since African science was used to stop his bleeding, he urged Obas to invite Igboho so he can teach them about African science to protect Yoruba communities. He said traditional power should be imparted on Yoruba people despite many practicing Christianity and Islam. He also said Amotekun needs people like Sunday Igboho in the area of fortification. Right? Recall that Sunday Igboho once narrated how bullets were fired at him at the home of the Seriki of Fulani in Ibarakwa, Oyo State, and did not harm him. He described it as a demonstration of the efficacy of Yoruba traditional power. Okay. So the person now asks, what's your thoughts on this? Should Sunday Igboho lecture Yoruba people on traditional power? As a Yoruba Muslim or Christian, can you take traditional medicine for protection? Well, I would doubt that Yoruba Muslims and Christians might take that for protection. But again, you never really know. Obviously, this is very much a sad situation. So again, this Ekiti monarch obviously survived, and of course, this issue of African science, like why should African science not be an alternative? You understand? Yes, we're very much colonized even up till now in our ways and our thinking and everything. So again, it's just shocking. Why should the African science be a big deal? Like it originated from your land and your people, so it shouldn't necessarily be a big deal. Or technically be a second option, because again, when they were desperate and obviously doctors on strike, they now thought, you know what, let's use African science. I think at this point, traditional arms and all that, I mean, it's left to Yoruba Muslims and Christians to decide, or any other Yoruba, religion, whatever. But the fact is, the traditional methods of just trying to protect themselves or fighting techniques should very much be adopted. Again, it is a choice for every person to make whether they want to do it or not. But then again, as much as it's an individual thing, it's a collective thing, because as a people, they are fighting for their land and they're fighting for their own freedom. So yeah. Somebody says, before Encore, God created Africa with its defensive mechanism, but when the whites came, they found it very difficult with our forefathers who were more into that. And it was then the whites introduced Christianity to divert the attention of Africans from the defense system, hence the advantage of Western this and that over ours. And to make matters worse, the foreign Christian faith admonished members to disregard anything about their traditions and customs, brainwashing them that it is evil to follow the dictate of their traditions to date. So for those of us who still believe in African science, I take local herbs, and if you're a thief, don't come to my house, because if you do, I will sweep you. I will make you sweep my compound till I'm done, and only then will I let you go or hand you over to the police. But in Christendom, such is demonized. That's where we have missed it. I think that in some aspects of it is true in terms of Christianity being used as a weapon to further this white supremacist view, because again, with Christianity and idol worshipping, again, the sacrifices that people had to make to gods at the time in terms of killing their children or making sacrifices or whatever, I think it might not have worked. And to be honest, Christianity, I would, on a surface level, you could describe it as a very convenient religion. It's very much laid back in comparison to other strict religions. I think that what makes Christianity strict is basically the different versions of it and the doctrines that have been chosen to be applied in different churches. But on a general note of things, it's a very much convenient, religion where, you don't fight, you're not aggressive, you forgive, all that kind of thing. I think that with Christianity and colonialism, they're all mixed in together that make up our society as it is currently in Africa today. And again, it is an absolute shame that, as much as you say it is a Christianity thing, you have to look at it as a white supremacy thing. Because again, in our culture, why don't we wear natives to our offices? Why in our hospitals? Why is African science not the main thing or the main topic of conversation, or like the main for example, in accidents and emergencies, why can't it go to African science? Because in this case, with this man, the doctors are on strike. So it seemed as if that was sort of the last option that they could find. When really it actually originates from the land. So yeah. So all the Yoruba kings are not fortified at all. All they know is to follow all these corrupt politicians for money. That seems to be true as well. I mean, it is actually surprising that a Yoruba king will not be fortified. Somebody says it's a lie. They want to know where your power is, but I don't understand. So then, what's the selfishness in keeping your power to yourself, or where the source of the power comes from? I mean, I guess if you don't really understand, which I really don't understand, how the traditionalism works for Yorubas and their different gods and all that, you might not necessarily understand how people defend themselves, which is a whole complicated and new other conversation which you can get into. But yeah, put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.